Hey everyone, today I'll be doing a reading of The Radio Girls on the Program by Margaret Penrose. This book was written in 1932, 22, my bad, and it was printed in the USA. Please enjoy the reading along with the abysmal Rocket League gameplay on the background. Chapter 1, Something Out of the Air. Oh, come on, we'll listen in on the radio concert, honey, and forget it, Amy Drew said. But she's so mean, insisted Jessie Norwood. So awfully mean. Of course she is. Did you ever hear of anybody by the name of Ringgold that wasn't mean? Not me, and Amy tossed her head. But that does not do a bit of good, complained Jessie, her face still crimson and her eyes moist. I cannot, Amy, overlook Belle's rudeness just because it runs in her family. Amy giggled and sprang one of her jokes. Just because meanness runs in the Ringgold family, like wooden legs, she said. I know how you feel about that dress, Jess. Jessie Norwood looked down at the frock she wore so daintily with eyes that were still clouded. If the Ringold's cook, as Belle says, has a Sunday dress just like this, I'll never want to wear it again. Not because her cook isn't just as good as I am, Jessie added quickly, as she chanced to see the expression on her chum's face, but because Mumsy brought the goods and had it made up by her own dressmaker, and it is supposed to be a little different from what you get in ready-to-wear shops. Don't worry about it, Amy urged. Belle's talk isn't as bad as the measles or some fell disease. Come on, if we catch the concert at Fort Hill, we'll hear Madame Elba, and you know she's one of the very best on the Stratford Electric Company's program. The two Roselawn girls were walking up the Boulevard farm town on this July afternoon. The wide highway was speckled with broken bits of sunshine, patterned through the leaves of tall elms. Now and then an automobile purred past the girls on one of the two oil drives, or a horseman clattered by. Roselawn was distinctly the better suburban district of New Melford. We could have had such nice times in our set, sighed Jessie, after a long minute, if it wasn't for Belle Ringgold and Sally Moon and their crowd. They are forever interfering. Static, suggested Amy, grinning. No, either interference was as bad as Belle and Sally. See how annoying they are, the boys, about that moonlight box party they've been trying to arrange for 2 weeks. The present moon will be quite worn out before they get around to the party, laughed Amy. And anyway, Darry and Bird have gone down to Bargainat to put the Marigold in commission again. If Belle holds off her moonlight party until they get back, she'll wait till frost. Oh, you don't mean that the boys will stay away all summer, Amy, cried her chum. No, no, rejoined Amy demurely. I meant it'll be a frost for Belle and Sally. Darry positively refuses to be roped in by Belle and her crowd. I never did feel like this about any other girl, Jessie Norwood confessed. But I don't believe there was ever an unpleasant girl as Belle Ringgold. Oh yes, there must have been at least one, said Amy, the irrepressible, and giggling again. Her mother, Mrs. Ringgold, is beloved for the same virtues that endears Belle to us girls. Or do I say we girls? You may say what you please, grammatically, replied Jessie, smiling again. It is vacation, and even Miss Seymour has gone away. However, I suppose we should not criticize Belle's mother. Dear me, honey, groaned Amy. You are so good you make me ache. If Belle had spoken as nastily to me as she did to you, I would have positively hated her and all her relatives. Look, murmured Jessie Norwood suddenly. It was evident she had not given it much attention to her chum. Look, I thought from the way the radio sounded last night that the aerial was twisted. They were now in sight of the Norwood place, which was one of the show places of Roselawn. At one side, an opening in the trees gave a view of Lake Monmouth. Across the broad boulevard from the automobile entrance to the Norwood grounds, set upon another terraced lawn, was the Drew house, where Amy lived with her brothers and her parents, and her brother Darrington Drew when he was at home. The girls were high school pupils, but Darrington had just finished his first year at Yale. Amy, steering in the direction her chum pointed, between the Norwood house and a tower on one side, shook her head with mock sadness. I really do believe, Jess, said she, that there is something in the air besides static. There must be imps that twist those wires. You know it isn't a week since we lowered the whole thing and took the twists out. I don't suppose we really have more trouble with our radio than other amateurs. Come on, Amy. Let's get into our working talks and do a good job while we're about it. All right, agreed Amy. Lucky I left my radio suit over here. Your what? Asked her chum, laughing, as the two ran up the veranda steps. Radio suit, replied Amy seriously. Those overalls were once our farmette costumes. But the war is over, and the sword is beaten into a plowshare, and our farmerette overfalls have become radio rigging suits. Phew! Don't go so fast, Jess. I can't climb stairs and talk at the same time. In Jessie's bedroom, the two girls changed to the overall suits Amy had mentioned. Young as Jessie was, she had a suite of rooms to herself. In the long sitting room was a radio cabinet, a much better set than the ordinary house instrument. It had a two-step amplifier and a horn, but there were the usual headphones as well. That concert is due right now, Jessie said, coming out into the big room. Let us see how it sounds before we lower the aerial. It might have been partly static last night. She opened the receiving switch and fastened on the head harness. Amy came over and sat down, likewise affixing one set of the phones. Jessie turned the machine with practiced hand. At first the chattering noises in the air meant nothing intelligible. But it's awfully loud, murmured the perplexed Amy. Why, Jess, I never heard your set so loud. Goodness, that isn't radio, Jessie declared suddenly. What? Drawled the puzzled Amy. That's an airplane, cried Jessie. It must be coming right this way. Oh, over the house, gasped her chum. Look, it's zooming, Jess, look. She tore the phone tabs from her ears and darted to the window. Jessie could see out from where she sat. The noise of the airplane grew louder. It was swooping so low that involuntarily the girl screamed. It will hit the house, gasped Jessie. What can he be thinking of? Amy demanded in equal amazement. He is swooping so low. In seeming recklessness, the aviator volplaned downwards. Suddenly the roaring of the engine passed. If the pilot did not manage his controls within a dozen seconds in a way to shoot the plane upward again, there must be surely a catastrophe. Jessie left her seat at the radio and thrust her head and shoulders out of the open window beside her chum. The nose of the plane continued to slant downwards. The girl screamed again, for a wing of the plane had struck the roof of the tower to which the further end of the radio aerial was fastened. He'll be killed, shrieked Jessie. The plane seemed to turn turtle. It crashed against the radio antenna and tore it from its fastenings. Then, with a deafening crash, the machine landed on the lawn, utterly wrecking one of the big rose gardens. What had become of the reckless pilot, the two girls at the window could not see. That was chapter 1, guys. Stay tuned for chapter 2. I think I'll be doing these readings every week. Bye bye.